Happy Monday. Thank you for joining me this week. This week, we continue our conversation regarding nuggets and tidbits that were gathered from watching Rise Live by Rachel Hollis. It was a virtual conference. There was a lot of great information that was gathered. So Donald Miller spoke, and I personally adore him. I love StoryBrand, and one of these days I want to go to one of his conferences. If you're not familiar with StoryBrand, it's really good if you have a company, helping your company identify their brand and what it is you want your customers to know about you. But it's also really good for your personal brand. It helps you identify who you are when you're selling yourself to companies. When you are trying to have somebody select your services, why should they choose you over the next person? So highly recommend it. Check it out if you haven't. It's a bit of a workbook, a bit of a regular book, so expect to put some time into it. But whenever he spoke of the 4 central characters for a story. You have the victim, the villain, the hero, and the guide. So the victim is something that we might occasionally find ourselves in, but we don't want to stay there. The victim generally only has one main point to the story, and when the story's done, they go off into the wild blue yonder. The villain definitely don't want to be there. We don't want to be the bad guy. So where we're going to focus is the hero and the guide. So in every great story, you have the hero, the one that's going through the trials and tribulations, the one that is growing and becoming more than what they were. And the guide is generally somebody who has been through what they're going through and helps show them the way. Now, what struck me was I've been working with a leader through some challenges, trying to get his team on board, turn around his department. And in the beginning, it was a little bit of a struggle. He wanted to be the hero. He needed to be the hero. And when he started becoming successful, he did a lot of internal work. I cannot take credit for any of it. I was there just as a sounding board. He did so much work on himself, trying to figure out how to get to that next level. And now he is doing extraordinarily well. And the biggest difference is when he started, he had to be the hero. And now he's the guide. Many times as a young leader, you come in and you want to make a difference. You want to leave an impact, create your legacy. And so it's all about you. It's all about you creating. But the successful leaders are the leaders that understand that it doesn't involve them. They are the guide. Their job is to bring up the next generation of leaders, to find the next generation of great and talented people and help nurture that so they can be the best version of themselves. So ask yourself, are you the hero or are you the guide? As a leader, you should be leaning more towards the guide area. Now, I feel like a hypocrite if I don't point out that I needed to be the leader I needed to be the hero when I was first leading. It was very important to me, and it caused some challenges with some of my peers. That is for a story for another day. But when I started finding my success, it was whenever I decided that I wanted to help people get to the direction and get to their goals. When I started leaning towards the guide. I still will occasionally find myself going back into the hero realm, but I try to intentionally live in the guide realm. So if you haven't checked out Donald Miller and StoryBrand, highly recommend it, especially if you're in the job market or you own your own company. It will be super beneficial for both of those arenas. Leave what you learned in the comments. I can't wait to hear from you. And don't forget, you got this.